BPod Studios.
On the air, online, on the air. This is how Boston sports fans start their day. Dutcher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Dutcher and Hardy, and this hour of our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Hardy was telling us you were driving from Michigan, or back from L.A. to Michigan. You're in Missouri. You got the sunroof down. You got your shirt off. You're 22 years old of glistening male pheromone.
Mm-hmm. All of it.
You get pulled over, and the police officer, he's got to run your plates, so what's he ask you to do?
He says, we're sitting out here, baking in the hot sun. Why don't you come back and sit in the cruiser with me while I run the plates and run your license, and, we'll get this all sorted out. And I thought nothing of it. I said, what a nice police officer. And, I put my shirt on and walked back, and I thought I would get into the back of the cruiser as I had seen on the TV. And he said, no, you can sit up front with me. It's fine. I said, okay. So I got in the passenger side door of the cruiser, and we sat there, and he started doing his thing, and we started talking. Now, I must have had an inkling that something could be taking a turn, because he asked me where I had been, and I said, Los Angeles. I'd gone out there to see some friends I went to, school with, and now I'm driving home to Michigan. He goes, oh, yeah, well, you're getting in the home stretch here. You're probably, feeling, you just want to hurry up and get home. I'm like, yeah, I sure do. L.A., that's not the place for me. He's like, oh, yeah, why not? I was like, just a lot of out there.
Yeah.
There's like, too many, too much funny business going out there, for my taste.
You're saying there's too many gays.
Well, Fred, I must have had a sense. And even though I didn't think about this until decades later, at the time, I remember saying that to him. And I wonder if it was some kind of instinctual thing to let him know I would not be interested in anything like this. Now, I have no reason to believe he was doing anything other than being nice to me at this point. But he was really, really nice to me, because after he ran my information, and I did not have a clean driving record. I mean, I was doing dumb stuff as a 16, 17, 18-year-old and had tickets and stuff. And I don't know if it came up on his system there, but he told me, he's like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write you this ticket.
Zip your pants.
He said, I'm going to write you this ticket.
Take your hand.
But I don't think Missouri has reciprocity with the state of Michigan. So if you don't pay this ticket, we'll never have any way of going after you, and it won't affect you as long as you never come back to Missouri again. I said, okay. He said, so understand, it's really important for you to pay this ticket, because otherwise we really can't come after you, and you can't suffer any repercussions if you don't pay it. Wink, wink. I'm like, okay. So he was telling me essentially he was going to write me a ticket, but I didn't have to pay it because there was no interstate relationship between the two.
You're saying whatever happens in Missouri stays in Missouri.
And
now's the time for men to experiment.
I think that's what he was saying.
And now that I've done something for you.
Which is nothing. I mean, why are you writing this ticket then? I mean, if you're never going to get that money, just the act of writing the ticket?
What are you going to do for me?
Right. And I'm going to write this ticket.
I'm wondering.
Can we seal it with a kiss? Even though you've just gone through your usual homophobic diatribe to me.
Decades later, I'm wondering if that was how the deal was supposed to be sealed. But instead, I said, that sounds great. Thank you so much. I got out, went back to my car, and drove off. And I took his advice. I never paid the ticket. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what would happen to me at this point if I ever got pulled over in the state of Missouri.
Wouldn't it be ironic if you had to go to Missouri, you were going in St. Louis, and then you got arrested in St. Louis for not paying the ticket, went to jail, and then had sex with a guy in jail.
Well,
It might not be as pleasant as what would have happened with the police officer. You could have had a man in uniform. You probably wouldn't have had you probably wouldn't have had sex with you. He probably would have been, hand stuff or something. And then you could have gotten away with that, but instead you played your cards, and now here you are, an older man,
right?
Being used in prison.
You're saying I would have been much better off just taking care of everything on the side of the road in Missouri in 1993, as opposed to 2024.
What's worse? Saying what you said, or just doing what the guy wanted. And then you would have had a really good story. Maybe one that you wouldn't have repressed.
You think I would have been more open to thinking about that and talking about that as opposed to the story I just told?
When you talk about the women that you find so attractive, maybe it would have pushed you into where you want to go.
You would have been able to work stuff through with your therapist a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Maybe it would have opened up the doors of perception, and maybe you would have realized that it's not these women that you think you lust after.
Are you seeing that? That's why
men. That's a good point. This might have altered his stance completely. Maybe you would like Sofia Vergara if you hadn't repressed all of this for 30 years.
No, my point is that his brain's only allowing him to go so far. He would be less likely to like Sofia Vergara.
Oh, okay.
He would be more likely, but he would make the final move that his will so badly wants.
Right. Okay.
If you don't know, Hardy is fans of very boyish women.
Well, that's that's not true. And B, just because I didn't enjoy Charlie's Angels but did enjoy Cagney and Lacey, I don't think that has anything to do with what happened with the police officer or my taste in women.
No, you don't like what's her face?
Got yourself a Tyne Daly poster, did you?
He doesn't like Tyne Daly. Tyne Daly's body is not what he liked. Don't let him fool you. He's trying to misdirect you. He does not like Tyne Daly.
He doesn't.
No.
Who is the other one?
He doesn't like the other one either. No, he would like an olive oil.
Oh.
Would be like a Shelley Duvall is who he would be into.
Who was literally olive oil. I got it now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It just popped into my head.
Yeah, he likes like a nice olive oil type.
Sharon Gless played Christine Cagney.
Okay.
I would not have been able to come up with that for a million. But we all know Tyne Daly as Mary Beth Lacey.
Yeah.
Well, that's the good thing about being a butt of a decades-long joke is that people always remember your name. People will never forget mine in Boston.
That's
they will
true.
Always remember.
That's true.
And that's why when I get pulled over in Boston, they go, "Oh, you're Fred. You've been through enough. Go about your business." Which has happened to me on numerous occasions.
Uh-huh.
And I love you. Everyone knows I love the police. And the very people that are saying to defund the police are the first to go to the police when they have a problem. I would like to see these people surviving in an anarchistic society with no ways to catch the wicked. I'm all for the police. Even in my punk rock days, I did not share the Dickies, the band the Dickies perception of the police department as being evil. And I think they can see that in me. That's why when I get pulled over, oftentimes the police officers who I love so much will say, "Fred, please. Your life is really crappy. We're not going to make it worse.
Right.
Just go ahead.
Go
about your business."
It must be nice, though, to be Wallach and drive around having no fear of ever getting pulled over because your car can't break the speed limit. Just being able to tool around without a care in the world.
No, that's the old car. He had a blue minivan for a very, very long. It wasn't a minivan. It was close enough, and it was a
Honda CRV. Yeah.
Oh, you're not driving the CRV anymore?
No. He's got like a
we
nice,
graduated.
You trade in the Charlie Romeo Victor?
Yes, we did.
What are you tooling
We're
around
going with an
these days?
Acura now.
Oh, Joe!
Yeah,
Holy crap!
John, you can tell
John's.
You can tell John's made a couple more shekels than he had back in the day.
Yes.
Wow, Acura.
Mm-hmm.
What do you drive, Hardy?
Living La Vida Loca.
I drive a truck. I drive a Ram 1500.
Okay, so you drive an American car.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever had a foreign car? Like,
Yeah.
under you have.
I mean, I've owned a lot of cars, but I've owned with that Volkswagen.
I've only had one foreign car. I thought because because you're from Michigan, maybe you would have been less likely to have done that.
My cousin Gene Poole, may he rest in peace, and that is his actual name, Gene Poole. He was a big UAW guy, and he came out to Vegas once, and I picked him up in my Nissan Xterra, and I was very nervous about this because when I had that Volkswagen and I go over to Gene Poole's house, he wouldn't let me park it in the driveway. He said to me once, "Why don't you go park that piece of bleep over in Germany?" And I couldn't park it at his house. But I was nervous when I picked him up in my Xterra, and he said, "No, this is okay," because he knew where it was assembled, and it was actually had more like U.S. workers working on that car and money staying in the U.S. than others. But I had that, and I had one other import. I had a BMW for a minute.
Yeah, you don't understand that in Detroit there is a very real like stigma. Like people do not like you get like it's like wearing a mink coat. Yeah. Like they don't like it if you have a foreign car because these people, most of the people that work in the auto industry in one way, shape, or form. Even if it's an ad agency, a glass company, they're somewhat indebted to the auto industry. They don't like it. All right, when we come back. Felger and Mazz are out in L.A. I enjoyed their show yesterday. They were, even though I have someone out there who may just ruin it, they, and that's between Hardy and I, so look for that. Something bad's going to happen. But I will tell you this, is that they had a lot of guests. They were rolling with guests on a Monday, which is very rare. You can tell people are excited to be out in Vegas. They talked to Jakobi Meyers, and it's quick and worth playing. And O'Donnell's kid was there, too, but he's really had nothing to say. We'll be back with that.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Lainey Wilson is on a roll. She's delivering great music and teaming up with some of country's hottest acts. Text Lainey to 45911 to see which 4 Lainey Wilson collabs have us talking at BackstageCountry.com. Text Lainey to 45911 to get a link to the list sent right to your phone from BackstageCountry.com.
Toucher, Hardy.
You get used to sitting back and letting Daddy drive the car.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey! I got my DCs. I'm all right. Or DPs. Because I got a really good friend in town. The gang's all out at Vegas. Have you talked to anyone, Hardy, that's out in Vegas?
I texted with Beetle and Zoe, but that's been it. I haven't talked to anybody else since they got there.
Did they enjoy being out in Vegas? Have they done anything of interest?
I haven't talked to them.
I thought you said Beetle and Zoe. You texted with them.
Like on Sunday when they got there. That was it.
Okay.
And, well, other than talking to him on the crossover yesterday, I haven't talked to him.
Your friends in Vegas, is it like a big party for them, or is it just kind of like whatever?
My friends who live in Vegas?
Yes.
No. When I thought I was going, or thought I still had a chance of going before the NFC Championship, I spoke with one of my friends, said, hey, I'm going to go out there, and if I go to the game, I'll get a pair of tickets. And as I was asking him, I even let him off the hook. I said, but now as I realize I'm saying this to you, he goes, I'm not going anywhere near that mess. They want nothing to do with it.
I have fond memories of the Super Bowl because when it was in Atlanta, I was a young man, just got my job at the big Atlanta radio station, and they had taken Buckhead, where eventually Ray Lewis would be at least tangentially involved in a murder. And they took Buckhead, one of the streets, and Budweiser put sand on it. They took the whole street in Buckhead. Mm-hmm. And I got 5,000 simoleons, smackers, hey.
What?
For the week, and there was freezing rain the entire week, so they couldn't do any of their activities. So I got paid $5,000 to go down to Buckhead and drink by myself in bars.
Oh.
It was the greatest thing I've ever accomplished.
That's fantastic.
I still think about it all the time. It might have been the greatest week of my life. People talk about your children being born, but getting $5,000 to sit in an empty bar while everything goes. All right, here we go.
I have this here.
I can play it in case I want to stop it. All right. But Felger and Mazz are out in Vegas. Jakobi Meyers comes by. Phil Perry's sitting in with him. Phil Perry, a man who Hardy knows a woman, she said, I'd let him do anything to me.
Mm-hmm. Phil Perry, very handsome man.
Yeah. And but this woman was like, I just let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Sure. Phil Perry wearing a short sleeve shirt, show off the guns. I saw that yesterday.
So Jakobi Meyers walks by, and Phil Perry goes like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, and they do like a handshake. And Jakobi, he's like, "I'll text you." And Phil Perry's like, "I'll text you. I'll text you." Like, so Phil Perry, obviously not only very handsome, also a friend of the players, which makes you wonder where his allegiances lie. But nonetheless, Jakobi Meyers sat down. He was with the O'Donnell kid that's temporarily the quarterback for the Vegas Raiders, who was at Purdue and started ahead of whom?
Oh, Austin Burton.
So here is Jakobi Meyers. It was actually a very good interview, a quick one, but here is the Jakobi Meyers with Felger and Mazz.
All right, hi, everybody. We got a couple more guests, so we'll just slide them right in. One who is familiar to you, one not as. Aiden O'Connell, the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback, and his receiver, Jakobi Meyers, former Patriot, joining us here on set. How you guys doing?
All good, man. Appreciate you having me.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming by. First of all, let's just get the pitch out of the way. What do we got? What are we pitching here?
Yeah, we're here with Bounty. Bounty's a great product, obviously, during Super Bowl week. A lot of wings being eaten, so Bounty's here to clean up your mess.
Is anyone else hungry for some Bounty right now? And they had Letterman jackets with bees on them.
Nice.
I mean, hats off to Bounty.
It's the quicker picker-upper.
Why didn't they just have a studly dude in a plaid shirt? That's Bounty, right? With an axe?
That's Brawny.
Yeah.
Well, they could stand to have a little better advertising.
Exactly. And that simple as that. All right.
We could use those to clean up the mess in Foxborough.
I was going to say, well, there we go.
I said, it's a New England sports show. Something got to be coming.
So Aiden, wait, we are in Boston, so we're uniquely interested in Jacoby's perspective.
We're just going to let you know right away, we're not going to be talking to you.
Yeah. As much as you're used to people fawning all over you, Aiden O'Connell.
It's so much center of attention. We're going to have to put you to the side this time.
This is like when I interviewed Maynard from Tool, and they told me he was going to be an a-hole, so I just talked to Josh Freese the entire time. This is the same thing. Like, Aiden, I know that you have everyone fawns all over you.
Yeah, exactly.
How's it going here in Vegas, Jakobi? You like it?
Yeah, I love it, man. It's great.
Feel like a whole new world, a whole new lease on life?
Yeah, it's different, man. It's a lot different from the New England Winners, for sure.
Okay, well, not just the winners. How about the culture of the football and the team? And do you enjoy it here more than your days in New England?
It was different experiences. You know, who I was at that point in my career, I probably didn't get as much respect as I would out here. So I ain't gonna lie, I do. Honestly, it's different. It's different. I'm a different person here, so I appreciate it.
Different person how?
As far as the respect thing, like, there I really had to prove who I was every day. Like, every single day I had to be better. Not just the same, but better. Here, I want to be better every single day, so it's different.
Do you think they use you better here, put you in a better place to succeed here?
Yeah. I mean, not just to call people out or throw anybody under the bus, but I was more of a focus here than I was there, whereas there I was more so doing what I had to do to survive and feed my family.
Why didn't it work in New England? At the end, I'm talking, right? I mean, it seemed like you had a rapport with Mac Jones. You were producing there, and given where they ended up in terms of productivity from the position, it certainly seemed that they had a need.
Yeah.
What happened?
They just wouldn't budge. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he didn't want to move. And I respect it. Like, it's his job to do what's best for his team or what he thinks is best for the team. It just didn't align with what I felt like I was worth.
How close was it?
It was
how close was New England's offer?
To what I got?
Yep.
$1 million.
It was $1 million apart?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't come up?
They wouldn't move, no.
If they had come up that $1 extra million, would you have stayed?
I wouldn't have mind staying. I don't know, honestly. It would have been a different conversation. I probably would have thought about it a little different, but I did enjoy Boston. Like, it was great. The guys that was there, those were really like family members to me, man. The receiver room, TB, I still talk to Troy all the time. Like, that's my guy, man. So it was definitely a sting when I left, but I understand the business side.
And you've tweeted this, so you've talked about it. The contract they wouldn't give you, they gave Juju Smith-Schuster, and you saw how that worked out with him this year.
Yeah.
Looking back on that, how?
Oof. Like, yeah.
Thank God I wasn't there. I would have gone through this.
No, just, yeah, they effed up. Like, pretty bad. And this is an undrafted kid. I mean, this is no, like, prima donna. He's just like, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, oh, oof. He sucks. He talks about it. I'm sorry to interrupt it.
And you saw how that worked out with him this year.
Yeah.
Looking back on that, how do you feel about all that?
I mean, Juju, at the end of the day, he a man, and I respect him, man. And it has nothing to do with him.
Obviously.
Really,
That's what the cop said to Hardy.
He's a man, and I respect him.
No, he said at the end of the day, he's a man, I'm a man.
Yep.
Let's give it a try.
Right. There's nothing saying we can't try and make this work.
Listen.
I mean, Juju, at the end of the day, he a man, and I respect him, man. And it has nothing to do with him.
Obviously.
Really, I think he's a good player. I think football just caught up to him. You know, I mean, I don't know what his situation is, but it's tough, man.
But you feel vindicated that you were worth what you were asking for with the Patriots, and they made a mistake.
I do. As far as those lines, yeah, like I do. I feel like now you could see, like, if y'all just freed me a little bit and let me kind of go out there and do other things or make plays and try to really gear towards me, it would have paid off.
How much of a draw for you in choosing the Raiders was Josh?
The relationship definitely helped me buy into it because I understood what I would have to do going into it. You know, and then the offers probably weren't the greatest. Like, I didn't have a bunch of other offers. So if you take the comfortability I had with Josh, it was a clear favorite at that point.
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like that had anything to do with anything. But what does sound interesting to me is that it was $1 million for an NFL team.
$1 million. It's nothing.
$1 million for a multi-billion-dollar operation. $1 million.
I said it at the time, and it was based on not much more than just gut instinct, but I thought the way Jakobi Meyers had kind of established himself here as much as he could in the limited time that he had with the limited resources with that offense, he was not only the logical and easy choice, but the better choice over Juju Smith-Schuster. I didn't agree with it. I didn't understand it. I'm like, I can't believe that somebody would fall in love with the name and become enamored with the image of what Juju Smith-Schuster was and how he had played before. But I think that's what happened here. And I'm like, just stick with Jakobi Meyers. He's here. He's already here. He's already doing it, and he's getting better. Why are you letting him go to sign Juju Smith-Schuster instead? I think never was down with that.
Part of that also, Hardy, is the sheer arrogance that we were always led to believe that Bill ruled with. And there is no better example than that. It's $1 million. We're at this figure. You want to play for this organization or not, this winning organization or not, even though we have loads of cap room, we're not going to spend one penny more. You either play for us because you want to play for us or take the extra $1 million and go somewhere else for Josh or for someone. How do you fix your mind around that? Throw out the 4-13 season. I mean, they weren't a contending team last year either, and you're still acting that way? I mean, if you actually believe, still, 1 year ago, that you're a destination spot, considering the trends that your franchise and organization had, you are outside of your mind. And they acted that way with a guy that wanted to stay and really was producing in an offense that wasn't exactly a juggernaut. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Well, they went on to talk to him about the Raiders game when he was on the Patriots, and when it was tied and he threw the interception to Chandler Jones, the pick six to Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
And they even asked him, because it was so strange that they let him go, they asked him, do you think that's why you're not on the team anymore? And in all honesty, Jakobi Meyers was like, what are you talking about? Like, no. Like, I did a lot more positive than I did negative there, but it is interesting that your brain has to search for some sort of reason as to why he possibly wouldn't stay or why they wouldn't keep him.
And that was a popular theory at the time, Fred. Like, oh, but he's going to get cut. He's going to get cut. You know what? If you do that in mid-season, it's like fumbling. It's like, okay, you're going to get benched the next game. Players don't get cut over things like that. Plus, I always say that was indicative of a bigger issue on the team. It's like, all right, I don't think they were coached that way, but something in the hierarchy and the structure of that team and the coaches and the special teams all the way up to Bill allowed a player on the Patriots to go out there and freelance like that on a play like that, and they weren't scared to death of not doing it. That signaled a change in the Patriots. Like, you couldn't imagine that happening a few years ago, but now it's like, what the hell? Might as well. That's the difference. No, he wasn't coached to do it like that, but he felt good enough about trying it. It's like, oh, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to me around here with this mess? And it was a mess.
Yeah. $1 million you could add Jakobi Meyers, and he's a young kid. He doesn't make a phenomenal amount of money, and he is a guy that you picked up, that you had the foresight to bring into your program.
College
undrafted kid. You had the foresight. I just don't understand the logic of the Patriots drafting guys, developing them, and then not keeping them. Like, I don't get it at all. Like, that's the whole point.
That's exactly.
But their modus operandi, like, there's a reason they're not doing it. There's a reason they're not keeping people. And because they as a rule don't do it. With Logan Ryan, like 400 years ago, was the last guy.
Duron Harmon.
Logan Ryan, same thing.
Yeah,
Duron Harmon, fine.
Same thing. That's fine.
I mean, really, like, okay, I was wrong, but I mean, I stand by it.
But it was over. It's been over a decade.
Point remains.
The point remains. No, I understand what you're saying. So, like, that's the deal. Is that Jen, the whole point of the exercise is that you draft the kids, you get that contract out of them, and then you take the cream of that crop, and then you pay them, and then you have the next generation of kids coming after.
Everybody else does that. Every other team aspires to do that.
Good team, yeah.
Or when you let someone go, it's because you have their heir apparent, as the Patriots did for years, as Burt Brewer has gone over again and again. You have their heir apparent coming up. Yeah. Like, when you let a corner go, Malcolm Butler is the next man up. Like, you have a reason for doing that. I also don't like the idea of drafting for depth in that way. Like, if you have, like, a starter position, like, unless you think someone is far away the best prospect on the board, I would draft for need. Well, they have to draft for need now.
And it's going to happen again this year. Kyle Duggar's going to leave. High second-round pick. Mike Onwenu, who is probably their best offensive lineman, he's going to leave. That's a guy you needed badly.
Or if you did keep him because of, like, Belichick not being here anymore, you're going to have to pay him way more than you would have had to if you just would have
gone to bat 18 months ago and seen this coming and started negotiations with him.
Yes, then you could have gotten him in for the job security. You get him for, that's the way the negotiation goes, for the job security and, like, to protect me if I get hurt. I'm going to sign the contract now. And blah, 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 blah.
Maybe Duggar loves Mayo. Maybe that will lower the price somewhat, but that won't work for Onwenu.
If you're Duggar, why would you take 1 cent less? You wouldn't take 1 cent less. There's no way.
It will keep the Patriots out of overpaying him. They were paying market value instead of overpaying him.
I think just the incentive not to leave, you get market value, but what do I know? All right, here are the headlines.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Award-winning movies often have incredible soundtracks, and many of those have gone on to become country gold. We've picked our top 5 country songs that have been nominated for an Oscar. Text Oscar to 45911 to see if your favorite made the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Oscar to 45911 and we'll send the link straight to your phone.
Zolak and Bertrand get you through the workday at 10. Right now, it's Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Our show in this hour is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Later in the show, we will have Diana Rossini's. What she's heard might be one of the reasons Mike Vrabel did not get a coaching job this cycle after he was fired by Tennessee. And it would have been interesting if it was it's just interesting. There's a lot of ways you could go with it. By the way, very quickly, ESPN has the 2-round mock draft out now. I don't think you guys. You're on the inside, aren't you, Hardy?
No.
Neither of you are on the inside.
Nope, not on the inside.
They won't let me in.
No, they would. It's just a matter of money. And if you belong to the Disney, if you have the Disney Channel or if you have Hulu, you're basically in already.
Oh, then maybe I am an insider.
So how much are you willing to put on the line for this show? I mean, that's what you got to ask yourself. Are you going to be a mover, shaker, headline maker? Are you going to be 9 to 5 or nickel and dimer? You got to ask yourself that.
The second one.
Well, that's not the way to be, baby. You got to look in the mirror. You got to say, am I an alpha or am I a beta?
Well, if it's a friggin' trick question, don't trip me up like that.
Are you going to run a marathon like David Goggins and on broken legs and have diarrhea all over a folding chair? Or are you going to be a woos?
I'm going to be a wuss. I'll do a half marathon and I'll walk for a lot of it.
Have you done a half marathon?
No.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
Well, would you care to know? Since I'm on the inside, I don't even know if I should tell you. But
yeah, can you get?
Can I
out?
do this? Or is this like breaking the law?
Yeah, this is a breach of insider etiquette.
Someone call Greenberg and see if this is okay with HQ. All right, so they shockingly take Jaden Daniels at 3. Mm-hmm. And then in the second round, would you like to know who they take?
Yeah.
All right. It's they're Belichick's still drafting, so they're taking a holder.
A special
sweet.
Out of Nevada State. No, they're taking Patrick Paul, an offensive tackle from Houston. A strong week of practice at the Senior Bowl might have moved Paul into round 1. But with the way the board fell, the Patriots find a potential starter at left tackle early on day 2. Paul needs to add strength to his lower body, puss. But scouts are in love. Well, why don't you marry him? With his 36 and 1/4 inch arm length and 6'7", 333-pound frame. If he needs to gain lower body strength, where is all this weight? He's got a big hog.
Top-heavy man I've ever heard of in my life.
He's got, you know what I'm guessing? A couple of those slushes moves on him.
He's built like the guy from The Incredibles. You got a 336, 6'7".
He's built like every woman Hardy hates. With needs all over the roster, the Patriots have to take swings at solving premium positions. Offensive lineman Trent Brown and Mike Owenu are both free agents. Speaking of Bill Belichick, there is an offer out there for him, gentlemen. Because Bill O'Brien's probably going to BC, which I contend is a huge Boston College hiring.
Massive. If they reel him in, and according to the Boston Herald, it's close.
And he actually wants the gig.
Yes.
Which is interesting because we talked to someone with inside information to him because he took the offensive coordinator position at Ohio State.
Yep.
We asked someone off the air who knows about these kinds of things, and Bill O'Brien at the time had said we knew this before anyone. He said, no one's reached out to me, but I'm interested. Well, there is a job offering out there, Hardy, for your boy Bill Belichick, even though he's old.
Yeah, this is,
Speaking of moves, and it's with Ring Cam. Did you see the new Super Bowl commercial? It's for Ring Cam, and they're like, not only can you find intruders or people are stealing packages off your front stoop, also 70-year-olds that just bang chicks can come out shirtless on them. So, and you can sell those to the tabloids.
So Amazon owns Ring, I think.
Okay.
They're in the same umbrella now.
Yeah.
If anybody had enough money and deep enough pockets to buy the Super Bowl ad, pay Bill Belichick enough to participate in it, it would be the greatest Super Bowl commercial ever.
What if it was for a memory? You know, they have those things you can drink to they supposedly help your brain. And they're like, have you ever been in a situation like this? And then it's just this 70-something-year-old guy whoa, like on a Ring Cam. And then they said, what if he drank alpha juice? And then he drank the juice and they show him and he has a shirt on and he goes directly to his car and gets the hell out of there. They would solve so many problems. That could be the ad. Say you're a 71-year-old that just had sex in a sketchy neighborhood with some chick and now you went out. Are you going to be like this guy who forgot to put his shirt on and can't find his car? Or do you want to be like this guy who's got his keys and his shirt on and he's ready to go?
But that brings into question, who's going to be able to
pay
pay
for dark.
it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this guy had the sense to get out when it was dark. We can't tell who it is. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, here's the job offer for Bill Belichick.
Tell me from your perspective about Nantucket as athletic director and the football program.
Dan Roach is on the case. Dan Roach is on the case. Dan Roach has gone out and he has found the head coach of some Nantucket situation.
This is the athletic director in Nantucket. His name is Travis Lombardi.
He sounds like Matt Schaefer asking that question.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's the same. It's the same audio quality as the public affairs show that ran on WBCN.
Tomatoes.
Just like that.
I mean, this guy is scrambling. Now that the Patriots aren't good anymore, I mean, there is work to be done.
Plymouth.
Tell me from your perspective about Nantucket as athletic director and the football program.
You're a bit of a cheese whiz.
Let's talk about cheese.
I'm sorry, Danny. It's the same thing. Dan.
Nantucket? What are you, Grandma tuck it in your shirt or something? Chip chippers.
So currently, as you, I think, are probably fully aware,
We're on really bad audio, so this sounds ghetto as hell, but I'll continue.
So currently, as you, I think, are probably fully aware, we are actually searching for a football coach at this very moment.
We are all very much aware of the search for the football coach.
I think he's got his tongue firmly in cheek.
I hope so.
I mean, you guys don't own property in Nantucket?
Sorry.
Do not.
No.
I went to Nantucket one time, did not care for it. There's too much going on that I'm not privy to. I don't like that. I feel like I'm in an aquarium looking out. I feel like I am not involved in society. Do you ever get that feeling in your personal lives?
Yes.
That you're in existence and it's almost like you're viewing things through a TV screen. That these people are not attached to you. I told you I went to college. I was friends with a girl in college, not best friends, but friends enough to be friends on Facebook, and she always is popping things up on Facebook in Nantucket, and it's this lush, beautiful grass that butts against sand from the ocean. I've never seen that in my entire life. Beautiful, lush grass that they've somehow manipulated nature to the point, and everyone's wearing white, and there's these big tents, and I know if I went to Nantucket, I wouldn't be invited to these things, and I know all the people I'd be looking at would be going to them, and I would feel very alienated. I don't need that in my life.
But not only that, unless you know everybody there and you're already friends with them, these aren't things that I want to go to anyway.
No. But I'm saying that I can't be friends with these people. They wouldn't accept me, and I wouldn't accept them. I would feel like a constant outsider. I would feel alienated the entire time I was there.
Yeah.
And it's not like I can't. Like, I don't understand why people don't like Newport. Like, you can drive there. It's not far. It's far more affordable. I mean, don't get caught up in those mansions you can take tours of. I mean, you can get a place. It's not insane.
Well, I'll be fair about it. I don't want to go to Newport either.
Why? Why? Is there even a reason, or is it just to be disagreeable?
No. Here's the reason. This is the question I always ask my wife. What happens when we get there?
Okay. How would
we
you
should
like?
go to Newport this weekend. What happens when we get there?
There's First Beach and Second Beach that have waves. You can go to Gooseberry Beach, which is almost Caribbean. It's
Water's really warm?
Yeah. If you get there in like late summer, early fall. And but there's also beautiful cliffs that are on each side. You can go there.
20 minutes.
20 minutes at the beach. You can only fill your time at the beach for 20 minutes.
You said early fall. What are we going to do?
No. I mean, late summer, early fall. Yeah, early fall. It's warm enough. September? Come on.
You sit on the beach?
In September, yeah. It could be 80 degrees in September. Come on.
Can you bring a Frisbee or something?
You can bring whatever you want. You can jazz the whole thing up.
Okay.
Bring a big tank of nitrous if you want. Bring some poppers and open up everything.
So we are fully going through the hiring process right now. So with that being said, if Mr. Bill Belichick knocks on my door in the next few days, I think we're going to have to keep the process going.
Do you have a daughter?
Yeah.
I mean, why would he knock on the door?
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because when he came out shirtless on the ring cam, you have to assume he was banging something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If Belichick comes knocking on your door, you go, "Oh, hi, Bill," and he's like, ugh.
I know.
Oh man, my head. Oh.
I got a doo-doo, but I don't want to do it here.
I'm about to blow up a bathroom. Let's be honest.
I know this.
Honey, it's not you. It's I don't metabolize like I used to. You got any white bread? Soak this garbage up.
I know this whole thing is tongue-in-cheek, and Dan Roach asked the guy to do it, and they're having some fun, but it's at least a mild consideration. You know, Bill's already here. Like, what if? What if he wanted to do this? What if he wanted to take a step back from the day in, day out of NFL and just, coach high school, get back to, the purity of it?
Are the people that live in Nantucket that close that you would, is it like a kind of place where, you would know Bill Belichick? Because if, you spend enough time there, you know everyone? Because it doesn't seem like that to me. It seems like a place that is that's very divided. The people that live there all year are probably very, very resentful.
I don't know, man. I've been there one time myself that I can remember. I don't think I've been there twice. I think I was there once, and
I've been there once.
Never been.
You've never been. You grew up here, Wally.
I was on Martha's Vineyard all day long. Never went to Nantucket.
You know why I got to go? It was before I ever moved here. My dad's fraternity brother had a kid who died in a plane crash, and he got millions and millions of dollars in a big airline plane crash.
And that's why you got to go to Nantucket?
Blood money, baby. Oh. He rented a big house. He rented it for the whole summer with the money.
That's the next step.
Because the idea was, it's actually kind of a sweet thing. He got it. No, it is, because he got it so his entire family, extended family, could all come whenever they wanted and share their experience in Nantucket.
Wallach and I are a little thick. You have to tell the whole story. It's like,
why would you assume if I'm just doing it to be dark? I'm doing it because there was actually a little light in the edge.
But it's like you said, my dog got hit by a train. Like, what?
Well, that's
happen. Why I went to Nantucket.
Exactly. That's what it felt like. We didn't get it.
Well, suffice it to say, Bill Belichick did not take the job. When we come back...
Can I tell you what job he should take? And someone else, this is not my idea. He should go coach Navy.
It's my idea.
Oh.
I've said it 1,000 times.
What a that's it, though.
Take right. Job. Like you didn't join the Navy when you could have. If you're so obsessed with Navy, go coach.
You already have the helmet.
Yeah, well,
got the helmet. You tried it on. Well, that was funny.
He said, "Yeah, it was great, and people loved it." And they said, "You think you'd be bad at TV?
We're having fun."
That's right.
They were.
It's super fun. Yeah, like if you're so obsessed with the Navy, you didn't join. The singer of the Cro-Mags did, but you couldn't. I mean, let's be honest. Like, you could have been in the Navy. If you want to run around pretending like you're in the Navy, go coach there. Exactly. I agree with you. I've said it 1,000,000 times. Thanks for giving me credit. When we come back, they're in Vegas. Bad things happen in Vegas, and we have a list of them for you. We'll be right back.